Hello students, I am Sheetal Singh from Panchsheel Balak Inter College, Noida. And today we will read the second poem of class 9th, Wind, by Subramanya Bharati. Subramanya Bharati was a Tamil writer, poet and journalist, and popularly known as Mahakavi Bharati. Bharati's works were on varied themes covering religious, political, and social aspects. The poem talks about the destructive and constructive aspect of the wind. When the strong wind blows, it can cause a lot of destruction, but only the weak things in its path gets destroyed. The wind is used as a metaphor to describe the problems we face in life. So the title is Justified Wind. So now we'll start the explanation of this poem. Wind, come softly, don't break the shutters of the window. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. Softly. Wind comes softly. Softly means slowly. Don't break the shutters of the window. Shutters means doors. Doors of the window. Don't scatter the papers. Scatter means throw in different directions. And shelf. What is the meaning of shelf here? Mantelpiece. Don't throw down the books on shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. What is the meaning of tore here? Tore means? What is the meaning of tore here? You scattered the papers and you brought rain again. In the above lines, the poet depicts the destruction caused by the wind. The poet appeals to the wind to be gentle. He requests the wind not to break the shutters of the window, not to scatter the papers or through the books of the shelf. And there, look what you did. You threw them all down. In the above line, the poet reminds the wind for the mess it has caused in the house. The wind has not only thrown the books but also torn the pages of the books, which means that the books cannot be read now. The poet looks out of the shattered window and accused the wind of bringing in more rain. The rainwater can cause further damage to the mess in the room as it enters the room through the broken shutters. The strong and gusty wind signifies turmoil and trouble in our life. Here it presented symbolizes way that that these all are the symbolizes here as trouble in our life. So we can see that in these lines, poet wants to say the poet depicts the destruction caused by the wind and saying that the poet make request to the wind asking it not to blow so strongly. Please come softly. Wind come softly. Softly means slowly. Don't break the shutters of the window. Asking if not to blow so strongly that it breaks down the shutters of the window as they separate from the stormy environment outside. So he's asking the wind for protection. He also asked the wind not to scatter the papers in his room or to throw down the books from his bookshelves with its force. Force. Force of winds, as you can see in the picture also. And there, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. Here, the poet accuses the wind of blowing too strongly and creating the mess in his room, with the books thrown down from the shelves, pages torn. He sees outside and tells the wind that it has brought rain with it again. You are very clever at poking fun at weakling. Poking fun means laughing at weaklings, the weak. Frail means fragile, crumbling, crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. The wind goes, winnows, and crushes them all. What is the meaning here? Crumbling. Crumbling means decaying or breaking up. Rafters, windows. Here, in the above lines, the poet, in a subdued tone, accused the wind of troubling the weak and fragile, or someone too meek and mild to protect themselves from the harshness of the world. The wind tears down doors, rafters, and even the entire wooden houses, leaving people stranded to face the harshness. The situation is identically implies that troubles in life comes as suddenly as the wind causing destruction. Here the all problems symbolizes here that the troubles in life come as suddenly as the wind causing destruction and leaving behind destruction and devastation. You are very clever at poking fun at weakling. Now, the poet speaks in a subdued tone to the wind, saying that it makes mischief whenever it encounters anyone who is too meek. Meek means humble, too meek and mild to protest against its actions. It tears down doors, rafters, and even entire wooden houses, altogether leaving people without shelter from the harsh world outside. This is an idiom implies that the troubles we face in life come as suddenly as the wind and also leave suddenly. As the poet says, the wind can tear down weak bodies and fragile hearts. That is, difficulties in life can lead to a loss of hope as well as loss of life. Thus, it is all up to the wind god, says the poet. He would he would not do what you tell him, so come, let's build strong homes, let's join the doors firmly, practice to form the body, make the heart steadfast. Do this, and the wind will be friend with us. Joint means link. What is the meaning of joint here? Link firmly, strongly, steadfast, firm. The poet now speaks to the readers, saying that the wind does not listen to anybody and its actions are governed by it alone. It escapes its harmful effects. We should build our homes on a strong foundation and ensure that their doors cannot be easily penetrated by the wind. Also, we must train our bodies and our hearts to combat and resist the ill effects of the wind. If we are able to do this, then we will no longer consider the wind an enemy. Instead, the wind will invite us to become its friend. This is an idiom meaning that if we make our character strong. Here, this stanza symbolizes here. What's the meaning? That this is an idiom meaning that if we make our character strong, we will be able to combat any troubles easily that we face in our life. However, if our character is weak, the troubles will create problems for us. That's the gist of this stanza and the deeper meaning. The wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. Here, blows out. Blows out means to stop a blows out means to stop a fire. Flourish, grow healthy and vigorous. Here the poet describes how the wind has both bad effects and good effects. The bad effects is that it can blow out a weak fire. However, if the fire is burning strongly, then the wind will make it burn fires, thus nurturing what is already strong. The poet comes to the conclusion that if we are strong, if we are strong, then the wind is a good friend for us to have, as it will increase our strength. This is an idiom meaning that all troubles that we face in life will strengthen us further if our character are strong. However, we will be seriously affected by troubles if our character are weak. He also says that we should sing our devotion to the wind god on a daily basis, meaning that we should happily face any troubles in our life. So, as this was the concluding lines of this poem by Subramanya Bharati, translated from the Tamil by A.K. Ramanujan, and as we have already discussed, the title justification as the title of this poem, Wind, the poem talks about the destructive and constructive aspect of the wind. When the strong wind blows, it can cause a lot of destruction, but only the weak things in its path gets destroyed. The wind is used as a metaphor to describe the problems we face in life. So the title is very justified. And now we will discuss that what's the theme of this poem. The poem inspires us to face the challenges and hardships with courage, grit, firm determination. The wind destroys the weak things in its path. When troubles come in life, weak people are affected more. If the structures in the path of the wind are weak, then wind will destroy. Wind here you can also see that the entire poem is a metaphor because it ends on a note of application to humanity to stand against all ravages and natural or man-made. It's a symbolizes poem, and this shows that when troubles come in life, the weak are more affected. So the poet asks the readers to become strong so that they can solve their problems. And this is the message of this poem. If we are strong, then we can overcome our troubles. So we should make ourselves strong. This is the central message of this poem, Wind. When the wind blows, it causes destruction only to the weak things that lies in its path. The wind is a symbol of problem and obstacles which are to be dealt with fear. If we are strong, the wind will be our friend. We must be friends with the wind and obstacles to cope with hard situation. So now the time for poetic device of this poem, and the first is metaphor. A device which compares two things or qualities which are unlike. As we can see in line number 12, the wind god winnows. Here winnows is a metaphor for separating the weak from the strong. And the next is symbolism. The wind is a symbol of difficulties or obstacles humans have to face for their survival. And the third is anaphora. Anaphora as the lines begin with the same word. As we can see lines number 2, 3, 4. repetition of don't. And lines number 6, 7, 8, repetition of you begin with the same word, that is anaphora. Lines number 9, 10, 11, repetition of crumbling. Lines number 14 and 15, repetition of let's. And the next is personification. Personification in which a thing, an idea, or an animal is given human attributes. The non-human objects are portrayed in such a way that we feel they have the ability to act like human beings. In line number 5 to 8, the poet refers the wind as you, as if it is a human. The human is gently reprimanding it and just like human being. And line number 12 to 13, 22, the wind is personified as a god. Lines number 18 and 20, the wind is personified as a friend. Line number 21, the wind is personified as a human being. So we can say that we find here poetic device personification. And the next is repetition. Example, line number 9, the word crumbling has been repeated. As we can see, crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling woods. So we can say that here we find poetic device repetition. And the last is alliteration. Strong fires, roar flourish. In this line, we can see the repetition of F sound, fires and flourish. We can say that here we find poetic device alliteration. So, thank you all. And this was the explanation of this poem. You have to revise this poem thoroughly. Thank you all. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay indoors, and eat healthy.